So against Reno Priest, we can armour up out of range to stop that hero pair from killing us. We could pressure him with N'Zoth. And there's a lot of Kartuk defenders there. A nice wall of taunts in the way. Really going to make life difficult for him. And what's interesting here is he's debating between pinging the minions or pinging my face. He's actually choosing my face, wanting to shred the armour. However, we have Gift of the Wild, we have Savage Roar in hand. So we can close out this game next turn, assuming he does not remove the board. Now he targets the minions. Is someone injured? Yes, your face is injured. Or your face is going to be in a world of pain very shortly if we can pull off the Savage Roar or the Gift of the Wild. In other words, we need minions to survive on the board. Oh dear lord, he's actually healing as well. And is this board going to survive here? It looks like 3 minions are going to live. That's good enough for me. And we're going to go for Gift of the Wild here. Very satisfying. Beautiful way to end the game. Okay, so what deck are we playing today? Well, we are playing Duwin's Hadronox Druid with beasts. So this deck here is not as greedy as some of the older versions of Hadronox Druid that used to run cards like the Cube. So you'd cube Hadronox, get multiple copies of Hadronox back. They'd also play Witching Hour. We don't play Witching Hour either. This deck here just relies on playing a single copy of Hadronox, popping it with Naturalize, and then if you're lucky, N'Zoth the Corruptor will bring back a copy of Hadronox, giving you another wave of minions. This deck takes the best aspects of the Scholomance expansion by putting in guardian animals, and you have the synergy with some beasts in the deck. You have a nice selection of beasts in terms of Twilight Runner, Teacher's Pet, and most importantly, because this is wild mode, Witchwood Grizzly. Now, Witchwood Grizzly that comes out onto the board through Guardian Animals can just simply end the game against aggro decks because it will come out as a 12 health taunt which they may absolutely struggle to get through. They will invest their resources, they will invest their low attack, low health minions into trading into the Grizzly, and whilst they are occupied with doing that, you build up your own board with your other minions and stabilise and win the game. So against aggro, I think this deck does a good job. Against slower decks like Reno Priest, as you saw, we can armour up out of range and outvalue them. One card that I would like to see in this deck is Ysera Unleashed, just because we can just be a little bit more greedy, and Ysera Unleashed is my favourite card in all of Hearthstone. So Duwin, can Ysera Unleashed fit into this deck? If you think it can, what would we take out? That's the question. Anyway, let's look at this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder, and our first game is against a warrior.
Here for a lesson?
Okay, so we have the Oaken Summons. That's pretty critical. If it's some kind of pirate warrior, Oaken Summons hopefully puts a big taunt onto the board. Maybe Zul'Rak Ritualist, or if we get lucky, then we'll get Vargoth. So he plays a pirate, but there's no patches. So either patches is in hand, or this isn't a traditional pirate warrior. We shall find out shortly. Or maybe not. Armor up and pass. How interesting. This is definitely not a traditional pirate warrior. Speaking of doing nothing,
I must.
hero power, pass. Anyway, we have the Oaken Summons for turn 4, and then we have a nice curve from there onwards.
I'll show you who's
We have a turn 5 taunt, a turn 6 taunt. Alternatively, the Twilight Runner, if we fancy card draw, and Risky Skipper. So to me, this looks like Bomb Warrior?
this be some bad mojo.
And there's our significant taunt, which he's going to have to work really hard to get through. Throw in all of his minions, throw his resources in, and in the meantime, we'll start developing 5 and 6 drops alongside. And that's how we will assert our dominance in this game. But there's a lot of card draw happening, so he's certainly not going to be short of resources from hand anytime soon. Okay, so you get some armor gain. I'm looking at this board and I'm not feeling especially scared or threatened.
Save the ritual.
I love the design of Twilight Runner, particularly with the stealth effect on it. It's almost guaranteed card draw, right? Assuming they can't kill it. I mean, worst case scenario, the Boombot explodes for 4 damage on the Twilight Runner, and we're sad. Best case scenario,
Someone's gotta lead the charge.
1 damage. Alright. So, I guess we draw 2 cards here. Oh look, we get the bomb. So, I guess, do we hero power that down, or do we just play the taunt here? Cart Hut Defender uses up 6 mana, it's mana efficient, it's fine.
Consider this our house.
He plays the Doctor, so he wants weapon value here. I'm not too concerned about the bombs. Ooh, Guardian Animals. What a pickup for turn 7. I think it's worth playing here. And we get both Witchwood Grizzlies onto the board. That is massive. Absolutely massive. Coming out at 12 health apiece. Absolutely beautiful.
I'll show you who's boss. Splooty, go get him.
Let the pain speak to me.
So at best, I assume he'll only kill one of these off. With quite significant investment required, so I'm okay with that. I guess we prioritise with removing the Acolyte because it's card draw. Make sure he only gets 1 more card drawn from it rather than 2. And then beyond that, Risky Skipper, I think, is perhaps the most concerning minion. Particularly if he combos it with, you know, plays an Armor Smith, does damage to the board, gains a load more armor. So yeah, well, I guess killing off the Skipper was the appropriate play there. So we're just doing what this deck does best, and that's just put roadblocks in the way of the opponent, stopping aggression to our face. I mentioned earlier that I wasn't worried about the bombs, and I didn't finish that thought. This deck has double Ferocious Howl, it has branching paths. We can armor up out of range from bombs. They're not going to affect us, I think, in any significant way. But as the game heads into the later stages here, we have lots of choices available to us. And here I'm looking at Gift of the Wild or Guardian Animals. And Gift of the Wild is a massive buff. However, Guardian Animals will bring out the final beast in our deck, which is Teacher's Pet. And I think this is fine. It's not incredible value, it's just one beast.
If I must.
Ooh, 4 to the face. That's fine. It's fine. We'll draw Branching Paths or Ferocious Howl soon. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. Duwin was telling me that Guardian Animals feels a bit like Katrina in Druid. And it's something he's always wanted. You could look at this deck and you could see Duwin in this deck, right? Sure, there's no Deathstalker Rexar, but you could feel the essence of Duwin, the soul of Duwin in the design of this deck. In other words, it's a bloody good deck. This is fine. This is fine. Ooh. Ziliax with magnetic effects. So here we go, Hadronox on board, Naturalize combo. We bring him closer to fatigue. And look at those beautiful Witchwood Grizzlies with those 12 health. What are we afraid of here? We're afraid of Brawl. Although I don't even know if his deck would run Brawl. I mean, if he doesn't run Brawl, he's absolutely screwed here. Seriously. Doing his best. However, we do have N'Zoth in hand. Branching paths here. One of the tips that Duwin had mentioned to me about this deck is branching paths can help push lethal. And right here, it is going to put him to 1. Behold! Puts him to 1 health. And look at our health total. 32 including armor. Not even being phased by the bombs. I have a habit of selecting the armor gain with branching paths just out of instinct or reflex, but I do sometimes forget that branching paths attack buff can be incredibly significant. So it's something that you do not want to overlook. And the other tip that Duwin had provided to me was save the Naturalize for Hadronox. Just allows you to pop Hadronox instantly on turn 10. Not just putting her on board and leaving her there, because she's at risk of being silenced, polymorphed, stolen. There's all sorts of things that can go wrong. Particularly in wild mode, when things can be so unpredictable. But really sweet win here against the Bomb Warrior. Okay, going up against the Warlock. Now, in this meta, could this be a Dark Glare Warlock? Could it be a Zoo Lock? Could it be a Discard Lock? Cube Lock? Or perhaps, unlikely, a Reno Lock? Well, we've got good access to ramp here. We just need... Ooh, hello. We just need to be able to do something proactive after we've played the ramp. We need to be able to put down a big taunt.
Delightful.
Big threat. Flame Imp would indicate perhaps a discard lock? Or even a Dark Glare Warlock? Do they play Flame Imp? It's definitely not a Reno Lock.
Is that food?
Okay, ankle bites that. So I'm going to assume this is a Dark Glare Warlock then. So I was looking at this biology project. Duwin says that you should only play it if you plan to use the extra crystal that turn or next turn. I really do need to think more carefully about how I would utilise Biology Project. Just to wrap my head around it. But anyway, we've got a roadblock in the way, and there's Dark Glare. Now, our deck does not run Poison Seeds. And when I played Jade Druid a couple of weeks ago, Poison Seeds is what won me the game against Jade Druid, because I was able to neutralise the giants very quickly. And then once the giants were gone, you run 2 copies of Poison Seeds. Once the giants were gone, that's it. They couldn't hurt me. However, in this case, we do not run Poison Seeds. We run 1 copy of Naturalize, which is our key removal, but we need it for Hadronox. So Guardian Animals is our other way of exercising removal, because the minions have rush, so they could, rush into his board, kill things. What do we do here?
Save the ritual!
We can't kill Dark Glare. So I'm going to go digging here for possible answers. Guardian Animals for turn 7. That's an answer. Potentially. And we can kill the Dark Glare, then we can rush into it. Assuming he doesn't play Taunts on this turn, we should be okay. I'm also looking at Biology Project into Zoth. Potentially. So, Biology Project and Zoth could be a potential turn 9 play. If we're desperate to put N'Zoth out onto the board quickly. So I think he's saying, hey loser, the pen flinger. Calling us a loser. Well, that's unfortunate. Because we cannot kill the other Darkglare. Yeah, we got the wrong minion out. Witchwood Grizzly, 3 attack. We needed something with... we needed the other teacher's pet. Or we needed Twilight Runner from our deck. So, yeah, 4 attack and 5 attack. That's exactly what we needed. We didn't get it. And this could really hurt us now. Flesh Giant. Wow. Gosh. Continuing to refresh his mana crystals. Healing as well. God, look at him go. It's turn 6. Calm down. Of course, he's got Rush. He's got Rush with his minions. That's really annoying. Okay. So... bit of healing? Maybe? I mean, Cult's Heart feels weak still. It heals us, but it doesn't do much to contest the Giant. It certainly does not contest Darkglare, because it's only got 3 attack. Witchwood Grizzly at 11 health? Is that better? Or Wild Growth, because I want to ramp up to play N'Zoth? But then I've got Biology Project? My brain is still struggling to figure out how to utilise Biology Project, by the way. Choices, choices, choices. Okay. So in an ideal world, he has to utilise all 3 minions here, or at least 2 out of 3 minions, sorry, to trade. In the ideal world. And one of those minions will be the Giant, so it doesn't hit my face, but oh god, there's another Giant. Oh, and Rush, of course. So we are going to take ridiculous amounts of damage to the face here. Is another Cart-Up Defender anywhere near enough here for us? Or are we forced to Biology Project into N'Zoth? I think that has to be our play. So N'Zoth on 9, not bad at all. 3 Taunts. Each with Deathrattles. And actually, we are threatening lethal once we get through his taunt. He needs to clear my board. And I'm really happy with this result. These Giants, they're not able to hit face. They have to trade. And I'm healing. Huh, another broomstick. Of course. Of course. So, he wants the healing. Okay. Can we find lethal here?
Impressively done.
Yes, we can, right? Branching Paths is simply lethal. Just like that. Wow. So we've outpaced a Dark Glare Warlock here, who'd gone all out with his giants. Really impressive win. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Duwin's Hadronox Beast Druid with N'Zoth the Corruptor. What a beautiful deck. What a really nice design to this deck. Taking Hadronox and N'Zoth, so the Taunt and the Deathrattle effects, combining them with Guardian Animals and the Beasts. It's as if this deck is taking multiple elements that makes Druid successful, including the armor gain, and combining it all together into this one big successful package. I really dig that. I like it. So kudos to Duwin for designing this deck, coming up with its design. I think it's a real triumph for Wild Mode, certainly. I mentioned at the start of the video wanting to put Ysera Unleashed into this deck, and just because I love Ysera Unleashed, and I understand that would probably be a little bit too greedy, but, you know, there's a possible justification to it, kind of. You know, if your opponent is super controlling and they manage to withstand the beasts from Guardian Animals, if they withstand the wave from Hadronox and then the wave from N'Zoth, well, Ysera's dragons, you know, you keep her in the hand until the last possible moment, and by that point in the game, when everything else has been exhausted, you're sort of getting close to fatigue. Your opponent thinks they've seen it all and they're about to win the game, and then you play Ysera Unleashed, and because you're closing in on fatigue and you haven't got many cards left in your deck, the following turn, your entire board is just then filled with dragons, because you just keep drawing the dream portals. And then you win the game. In my head, that's how it kind of pans out. So, Duwin, if you're listening to this, is there at all any room for Ysera Unleashed? Please tell me there is. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all about the deck, please do leave them in the comments section below, and I am absolutely sure that Duwin will come back to you with a response as quickly as possible, because he is the expert after all. So, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, stay safe, stay well, and I will see you all again very soon, as always, for more Wild Mode fun.